Thursday, the 10th of October, 10 at 10 on 10/10. What an auspicious time. 10 minutes at 10 a.m. on the 10th day of the 10th month. Which just occurred to me now, it makes more sense to me why people in the UK, or maybe other places in Europe, I haven't noticed, but British people say the date, when they write down the date, it's the date first, then the month, then the year. So they would say 10 October, not October 10th, which I sort of like, because you're saying it's the 10th day of the 10th month, which in terms of flow makes more sense. I like the way the Brits do a lot of things, quite frankly. Good morning to all. I'm sitting here listening to the news, getting updates from NPR about the situation down in Florida. It's going to be a lot of, still sort of assessing. It's going to be a lot of power outage for a long time. Going to be a lot of destroyed property and I don't know what the current I hate that word, casualty. Storm spawns more than 3 million without power. I mean, what destruction. Yeah, Mother Nature does not mess about. And she is not to be challenged, you know? Challenge Mother Nature at your own peril. God. And who are these? I'm looking at sort of footage on New York Times homepage, and who are these people coming out in the middle of a storm just to get footage? You people are crazy. Oh, God. So I'm thinking about our friends in Florida today. Scary. Scary, scary. I think about, my mother lived in Florida for a long time. She had a condo. She and my dad got the Florida bug, in the 80s. And then my dad died, and she kept, and then she and my stepdad, after she got remarried, she and my stepdad got a place in Florida. And for a time, they were residents of Florida who paid taxes, well, no income tax in Florida, but who voted in Florida, like they were registered to vote in Florida. And I think now, if she were around now, and if she were in Florida now, it would have been quite a maneuver to get her to safety. And then she would have been one of millions. Hi, Fran, good morning. Yeah, I can't imagine. It would have been really difficult to get my mother, that would have been a whole thing. Anyway, everyone in my family is safe. I have a nephew in Florida, but on the other side of the state. He's on the East Coast, and I have a sister in Key West, and they're okay. So, oh God. So my thoughts. Let's see. Hi, George. Are you aware of the fact that New York Times headlines are often unsympathetic to Israel? Am I going to get in trouble for that? I swear to God, you guys. Here's the deal. I can't. There is no right move. There is nothing. I didn't even mention fucking Israel. I just said New York Times. And someone's going to make it the subject. Is somebody not talking about Israel? Let's make sure they do. Annoying. Inappropriate. I wasn't really what the fuck do you want me to do? Unbelievable. Howard Stern Kamala Harris interview was phenomenal. Yes. Let's see. Am I okay? Yeah. Oh God, here come the trolls and the bots and the big see you next Tuesdays. Thanks for the Sheila E pics, George. It was a lot of fun. Oh, so last night. I've got 5 minutes here. Last night I was at an event a gala for the Global Lyme Alliance. Lyme is in Lyme disease and tick-borne illnesses. And I, knock on wood, have never had to deal with Lyme disease. But I know many people, as I'm sure many people out there know people or have themselves who've experienced Lyme disease. Debilitating, life-ruining, just takes you out. It's rough. So last night was a gala celebrating the work of the Global Alliance, acknowledging people who've done some, as a gala is, acknowledging good work contributed by people who have worked for the cause. And so there was an auction, there was money raised, a lot of money, so all good. And then the Chris Maloney was there. Lyme disease has touched his family. Touching story, and he got a little emotional, which is sweet. I love it when a man shows his vulnerability in public. It humanizes us, and he's a good guy. And so Chris, and other honoraries there. So anyway, money raised, and Sheila E. was the performer, and she did a 20-minute set at the end of the evening, and it was lit. You guys, there was a younger person at my table last night. The gala was held at Cipriani there's so many Ciprianis now. It's like Chipotle for wealthy people and their events. It was at Cipriani on 25th, on Broadway, 25 Broadway, way downtown. Not, what is it, Casa Cipriani, the one at the very bottom of the island, and then there's another one. Like, literally, people who got there were confused because they had gone to the wrong Cipriani. So, Cipriani company, slow your roll, maybe less venues. Love your stuff. I mean, you go to a Cipriani event and it feels like you're in a John Wick movie. Super sexy, but wow. Anyway. So it was an amazing event, and Sheila E. I got to meet Sheila E. My friend Eric Bergen, oh my God, pulls me aside. Okay, so like we're just finishing entrees, and then there's going to be a couple more presentations, and he pulls me aside and he said, "Come here." And he knew that I'm a huge fan of Sheila E. Like, I have been a huge fan of Sheila E. since The Glamorous Life. We're going back, what was that, 83? So 40 years. Because she's part of the whole Prince, Minneapolis, Purple Rain kind of empire, right? So Eric pulls me aside and he says, "Come here, I want to show you something." Takes me to this room, and there's Sheila and her band. And she goes, "George." I'm like, oh my God. So Eric Bergen got me to meet Sheila E. What the fuck? Got a picture with her. Showed her my love for, just sort of gushed my love for her. And then she got on stage, did her set. And at one point she goes, "I need my Sheila E. dancers. Eric, Chris, Maloney, George." Like, what? We got pulled up on stage and we danced. There will be video on my Instagram later, but oh my God. So it was crazy. It was such fun, and it was all for a great cause. And Sheila E. is totally underrated. And my God, she puts on a really fun show. She did a little Prince medley. And she did, Love Bazaar. She did a little Erotic City. She did a little, and she, of course, Glamorous Life was her encore, the cherry on the cake. Let's see. Oh, I started to say, thank you, Kathy. I started to say something about the young person at your table related to Sheila E. Thank you for the reminder, because I go off on tangents and distract myself. To close, there was a young person who wasn't sure who Sheila E. was, and I was so depressed for a split second to hear that young people are unaware of Sheila E. Sheila E. is pop music, R&B royalty. just if you're young and you don't know who Sheila E. is, go to your Spotify or your Apple Music or YouTube here and just, come on. Anyway. No. Sheila E. was, I meant, Sheila E. is not a fan of me. Eric, my friend Eric, set that up. I wish she were a fan of me. No, she didn't know me until last night. No, God, no. Eric had said, my friend George, can I bring him back to say hello to you? He's a huge fan. She obviously said yes. And so she's like, George, I'm like, oh my God, you don't know me, but I know you. That's what we are. We all wanna love. Oh God. Against the backdrop of the horror happening in Florida, it was nice to go out and celebrate life last night. And so I danced like a goddamn fool on that stage with Chris Maloney. Because you have to celebrate life, right? Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, she knows me now. We know each other now. Anyway, she is lovely. She looks amazing. She hasn't aged. She's so beautiful. Yeah, she looked great. She sounds great. She does the drums. She has like a stand-up drum kit. As always, that's always been her thing. With the cowbells. Anyway, loved it. Love her. Loved that evening. And you guys, let's stay on top of what's happening in Florida. Be mindful. And, if they need aid, let's send money. Whatever we can. And also, don't get scammed. Only send money to reputable causes like Red Cross. Send money to where it's going to count. And that'll start rolling out today, I'm sure. Opportunities for us to do something financially and give what you can. That's what I say. Anyway, love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow.